Wow, you guys really like Copycat. She is definitely a character who deserves more respect. So, welcome to the review desk. I'm Desmond Carrick, and today, as the YouTube gods have decreed, it's all about Copycat. The Marvel Universe is full of shapeshifters. In the last video, we saw how two of the most prominent specimens, Mystique and Morph, ranked against each other. Morph did have a major edge with the ability to copy physical attributes, but Copycat might just give them a run for their money. Copycat was born Vanessa Carlisle, and like most mutants, her powers manifested in her teens. Also, like most mutants, unfortunately, she had parents who weren't particularly open-minded about her gifts. They kicked her out of the house and she ended up living on the streets. Nice going, Mom and Dad. Forced to fend for herself, Vanessa became a prostitute. It was a job she was very good at, being able to take on any form and all, but it didn't make the job feel any less revolting. The only solace she had came from the way her powers work and a young mercenary named Wade Wilson, which might actually be a drawback. We'll circle back to that later. You see, Mystique was always able to change her cellular data, such as when she morphed her reproductive organs and corresponding cells into those of Azazel, allowing her to conceive Nightcrawler with her girlfriend Destiny. Sound weird? Click here for the video on that interesting retcon. But she could never duplicate the X gene or any other power-enhancing genomes, thus she could never copy, say, Wolverine's healing or the Hulk's strength. Morph could copy the physical attributes of a target, like Thing's arms with corresponding strength, but then again, as he himself admitted, he can't copy non-physical abilities like Xavier's telepathy. And that's where Copycat has them both beat. By spending time near a target, her powers could slowly siphon off genetic data, which allows her to take their appearance, memories, mannerisms, and even, you guessed it, powers. This is how she spent a whole year posing as Domino on X-Force, even fooling the telepathic powers of Cable. The real Domino was always reluctant to build bonds with people around her and kept mostly to herself. She was convinced this was how Copycat was able to fool the team. However, Copycat pointed out that it's because her powers allow her to literally become her target, even down to psi patterns. So she would have been able to fool the team either way. This is also shown when Vanessa, posing as Domino, engaged in banter with Cable about events from the real Domino's past. Vanessa has also been shown to change into animals, something Mystique needed a power boost for, and stated that this was actually much easier for her than humanoids, probably because the shape is more of a priority than the memories in those cases. But don't let all this fool you. She doesn't necessarily need a target to use her powers. In Deadpool Volume 3, she changed into numerous women of her own design, not based on existing individuals, in order to get close to Deadpool without him realizing it. However, Deadpool got wise to her pretty quick because she wasn't using other personalities. She was still able to fool his keen senses when she used her powers to adapt to her surroundings, effectively rendering herself invisible. I have yet to see Mystique or Morph pull that trick on this level. Even Deadpool, who was able to see through one of Mystique's ruses, told her she's a joke compared to Vanessa. Mystique and Morph are fast, able to take on new forms in a split second. Copycat can do the same, but she needs prolonged exposure to her target in order to copy everything else. It's also been shown that her powers work much faster upon touch, as she was able to recover from a fatal wound by touching Deadpool and instantly absorbing his healing abilities. Now, this may give the impression that Mystique is quicker to replace a target because of her decades of experience as a spy and actress, but she also needs time to do extensive research in order to pull the wool over someone's eyes. Copycat has the advantage that she doesn't need to study her target just be in close proximity to them for a while. She could literally just jog around the Baxter building and become Mr. Fantastic within a week. Mystique has had some power boost, and there's some misconception about Vanessa undergoing upgrades as well. This is not the case. While she did join Weapon X, she did so because her powers were becoming unstable and she needed the program to restore them, not improve them. Power boosts aside, Mystique still has another card up her sleeve, at least a century's worth of fighting experience, making her a fierce opponent both with and without her powers. While in the comics, Morph has relied mostly on powerful transformations, X-Men 97 shows the animated version is finally taking their combat training more seriously, and they're exceptionally good at it. But once again, this wouldn't matter much to Copycat, as she could simply absorb the skills of a great fighter, even Mystique herself. Try finding someone who knows every move you'll make before you've even thought of it. There are a few dangers to her powers. Too much exposure, and she risks getting lost in a new identity, effectively becoming that person. This would have to be a long time, however, as she spent a year as Domino, but was still very much aware that it was all an act. Despite Domino's feelings for Cable as well, even though Vanessa had absorbed them, she was able to ignore them. And there's another more tragic risk. Remember when I talked about her time with Wade? Because Vanessa's powers allow her to copy a person's self, she knows them better than they know themselves. But who we are deep down inside isn't always who we exhibit to the world. Vanessa could sense that Wade is a good person on the inside, and every time she was with a customer, she would remind herself of Wade and the peace someone like him brought her. Unfortunately, even though Wade truly did love Vanessa, when he found out about his cancer, he not only left her, but dismissed the relationship as a simple fling. Can you imagine knowing for an absolute fact that someone loves you and wants nothing more than to be with you, but they won't even admit that feeling to you? It'll break your heart. And that's exactly what happened to Vanessa. It got so bad that when Deadpool was dating X-Force member Siren, Vanessa shapeshifted into Wade and proceeded to attack Siren, putting an end to any potential relationship between her and Deadpool. Vanessa eventually bounced back and settled into a normal life as a food truck vendor. But who knows what the future holds for this top-tier shapeshifter? Speaking of the future, go ahead and hit those subscribe and notification buttons so you can catch an upcoming video about another Marvel shapeshifter who's even better than Copycat. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. You know, if it wasn't for Morph, I think all shapeshifters are blue.